responsible for operating and maintaining the Belgian data center from Google, which is located in Saint-Ghislain, quite close to Mons and close to here. A little bit of my background. So I spent my career in maintenance and project, first in the renewable energy, then in rubber industry, nothing to do with renewable, and then lately with data centers and with Google. I've been with Google for the last 12 years, and so I've been extremely active in developing the Saint-Ghislain campus these last 12 years, and I hope it's not finished. Today, more than ever, the world is counting on us, the data center industry, to keep the critical infrastructure up and running, mainly dedicated to business, business to customer, the e-commerce, and also keeping people connected together while we have been experiencing this major pandemic. In the light of the situation, it's extremely important, and we have a big responsibility in making sure that every user can access anytime the service that allows them to either work or being connected. We believe that we have that immense responsibility as a global actor in the data center industry and also in services we provide to users from Google. Google has entered its third decade of climate action and is now pursuing its most ambitious goal ever. But before going into that, I would like to highlight why we need data centers and why sustainability is extremely important for us. What do data centers are for? Of course, everyone knows about the Google search engine. So we power the Google search engine, but it's not all. We also use and host and operate all the Google products. You know, you see them here. So the G Suite, Android systems, Drive, Google Apps, Maps, Chrome, Google Play, YouTube, Mails, Photos, and also now the cloud industry. So it's a move, we are going to that. The demand for our services is growing every year, and it's driving a continued growth in our energy usage. In 2019, total Alphabet global electricity use was around 12 terawatt-hour, and it will keep raising. The stakes to our business are high, and energy is one of the largest costs of operating Google infrastructure. Every minute, we have hundreds of hours of YouTube video uploaded, and we deliver millions of YouTube's video plays. Each view requires a really tiny amount of energy, but it adds up very quickly. So every day, with people watching over 1 billion hours, it's a big amount. And if you think about it, if you were to sit and watch 1 billion hours of YouTube videos, it would take you 100,000 years. So think about that. Now, I could take the rest of my life and my time here to speak about how incredible the statistics and the numbers are, but I don't think we are there for sustainability and also explaining also the Google wider network. We own and operate more than 23 data centers, locations, and 4 continents, 15 subsea cables. This is one of the largest global networks, and we continue to add new sites to better serve our customers. Each campus has 1 or more data centers, where the vast majority of our facilities, the servers, networking equipment, and cooling systems are designed from the ground up. And the objective is to maximize efficiency and minimize our environmental impact. Of course, we have a new data center which is pointing out in Saint-Ghislain. It's following exactly the same logic. It was opened in 2010, and I'm happy to say that it's one of the greenest data center fleet-wide. This is how it looks like inside a data center. it's rows and rows or rows of servers. Google infrastructures allow billions of search, and the results are within the milliseconds. YouTube videos, storage of Gmails, it's a really big infrastructure. When it comes to construction, we focused on building strategic locations to maximize efficiency. The best is to design and build in the objective of at least not changing anything in the next 10 years. The cloud customers require data centers in location that works for them, and so not probably aligned with the best location. Rigorous time-tested site selection process is applied at Google. And an access to carbon-free energy is becoming one of the most critical requests we have. For more than a decade, we've worked to make Google data centers some of the most efficient in the world, improving their environmental performance even as the demand for our service and products has risen dramatically. We've done this by designing, building, and operating each one to maximize efficient use of energy, the water, and the materials. Efficient data centers help us better serve our user and in a more sustainable way. For as long as we're building and operating data centers, we have been advocates for efficiency and sustainability. Our leaders have been publishing white papers, helped the global data center industry to focus on what makes us more efficient than others, and so share the knowledge. Google data centers, and they are some of the most efficient, energy efficient and environmental friendly in the world. Sustainability needs to be built in. As you know, the best energy you can save is the one you're not consuming. It's kind of a logical stuff. So our data centers lead the industry in energy efficiency, and they are twice as efficient as a typical data center. Compared with 5 years ago as well, we now deliver 7 times more computing service with the same amount of power. So we can do that thanks to our new technology, but also in the better operating the data center. So these improvements are mainly now coming with machine learning computing systems, and we'll talk about that a bit later. We also design our servers, which makes them also being totally appropriate to work in our specific environment. You can see this is the curve, historic data points of our PUE. Or PUE, what means PUE? PUE is the ratio between the total amount of energy you're consuming in a data center divided by the total amount of energy you are dedicating to IT servers and network. So you get it right that if you need to spend 1 kilowatt hour to put 1 kilowatt hour of IT power, your PUE will become 2, okay? And the best PUE would be a tendency to go to 1. Every kilowatt hour is used for IT power. And as you can see, we hit a record in 2019, and you will see the numbers for 2020 and 2021. It's a scoop. They are even better. We have been hitting a low score of 1.1 average on a year of PUE for all the fleet of our data centers. And compared with the industry average of 1.67, it means that it's not that we say that we are twice as much efficient if we take same big data center companies, but in the global average, we are 6 times less using energy than others. And so it means that we still have a long way to go in our global data center industry. In addition, the machine learning at Google enables to analysis a massive amount of data and operational data, and helps as well to select the best scenario, which for the outcome would be a lower power usage. So we have been starting to do that in all our fleet, and it leads to a 30% reduction in energy consumed, as you can see the green line. So it can go down to 30% of energy consumed. And why that? It's because humans, we have operating models that are based on historical data, but we don't have the ability to compute that massive number of information. The systems does. We're also using machine learning to reduce the data center carbon footprint. How we do that? We are shifting compute tasks that can be shifted to align with greener hour on the grid. So we want to see each data center improve over time to a 100% carbon-free energy matching at all times. In 2020, in April, we announced the first of its kind system that shifts flexible tasks into our data centers to better align with carbon-free hours on the grid. We've been able to do that without incurring and adding new hardware and new operational costs, so not impacting the performance of our service for our users. We hope it means that we can find other applicable solutions for other companies and industry. In fact, I want to mention that we are partnering with a couple of people in the industry to make sure that we can fine-tune that logic and put that available for more people. So we are preparing the future is starting today, and we are preparing it. We are also investing in renewable energy infrastructure to power our data centers. We are not taking only what's available on the network, but we're also making sure that we are creating opportunities for renewable investors to add more terawatt hour of renewable energy, and we're taking part of it. Google was the first large company to achieve a 100% renewable energy match for its electricity consumption, and we've been doing that for years now. But today, we are the largest annual corporate buyer of renewable energy in the world, and we want to have new challenges. Since 2010, we've been signing more than 55 wind and renewable power purchase agreements of 6 gigawatt hour. That's a big part of an increase in terms of our outcome. So I said that in 2020, as you can see, we've been matching our renewable, we have been matching 100% of the electricity consumptions for the first consecutive year. So this is something that is important. But renewable energy is not the only solution. It does not fundamentally solve the problem, because at some times there is no renewable energy available to match our power consumption. And so we still need to rely on carbon-based resource at many data center sites. So to meet the challenge presented by climate change, we must ensure that our electricity supply is always carbon-free in every hour of every day and everywhere. Here you can see a little bit the journey of our energy reflection over the years. And while going carbon neutral and achieving 100% renewable energy, there have been major milestones, and we recognize they are helping addressing climate change. It still needed today to go the extra mile. The goal is to require corporate actions to bring large-scale shift in global energy usage. Google is leading this effort as the first major company to set goals for 24/7 carbon-free energy by 2030. So now we are doing it. How we are doing this? Achieve 24/7 carbon-free energy in Google's operation. We need a new approach. We need to drive progress in the next generation of technologies, work with partners, and still continue our reflection. What do we do when data centers is devoted to increased energy efficiency, but it's already one of the most energy efficient in the world? But the answer is to start to create our own energy, of course. So in October 2017, we launched that's a solar power plant. It's composed of 10,665 ground-mounted photovoltaic panels, and then help to reduce the demand of the Belgian grid and cut carbon dioxide emissions, helping to meet the objective of the voluntary agreement while building momentum for renewable energy in the region. In Saint-Ghislain, we will also, again, innovate, and we will install the first ever battery-based system for replacing generators at a hyperscale data center. In the event of a power disruption, the system will keep our user running, search and emails and video on the move, without the pollution associated with burning fuel. But even more important is what will happen when Google doesn't need emergency power. Then we are not using our batteries. They will be available as an asset to strengthen the broader electrical grid. So this system will be available, well, not using the backup power to kind of smooth down the energy demand and do the balance between demand and production of renewable energy. So one of the reasons that Google chose Belgium as a site for this project is because my local team has already had a track record of implementing novel energy ideas. We were the first facility in our global fleet to run entirely without mechanical chillers for cooling. One of the main reasons that the European Commission recognized our site as a top performer for energy efficiency. And as we just saw, we also the place where we have been integrating our largest on-site renewable solar energy installation. Because at our scale, we believe we have a responsibility to our users and to the environment. We strive to sustainably lead us, because these are our communities. If you want to know more, I would invite you to visit the page, which is google.com/data centers, and learn more. You would check a couple of podcasts, which is really entertaining. It's where the internet lives, and it gives you an inside look at data centers, and you will find pictures from the Saint-Ghislain data center. Thank you.